They were young, smart, athletic. They vanished after a night out, and days later, their bodies were found in water. Drowned, the authorities said. But something was off. Too many similarities. Too many cities. And always a smiley face, spray painted near the crime scenes. Is it a coincidence? Or is someone or something hunting young men across America? This is the story of the Smiley Face Killers, and the theory that just won't die. It begins in the late 1990s. The first few cases barely made the news. A college student here, another there, drunk after party, disappears into the night. Days later found in a river, ruling accidental drowning. But two retired New York detectives, Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte, started seeing a pattern. And once they saw it, they couldn't unsee it. The victims were always young men, fit, popular, college students, often last seen leaving the bar alone. And in many of the cases, near where their bodies were discovered, graffiti appeared. A smiley face, sometimes painted, sometimes drawn, always watching. Was it just tagging, random graffiti, or was it a calling card? To Gannon and Duarte, it was evidence of a serial killer, or worse, a network, a group of predators. Coordinated, smart, patient. They believed these men weren't just drunk and unlucky. They were being targeted, hunted. The theory got its name from that eerie symbol, the one we all recognize from stickers and emojis. But out there in the wild, it takes on a different meaning. You're walking along a riverbank, police tape still flapping in the wind, and you see it, a faint smiley face, sprayed in red on a crumbling wall. Suddenly, it doesn't feel so innocent. According to Gannon, they found this symbol at more than a dozen recovery sites. The drowning spanned over 25 cities in 11 states, from New York to Wisconsin, from Boston to Minnesota, and always the same story. A promising young man vanishes, and later, his body is pulled from a lake, river, or canal. Case closed, they say. But is it? Let's take a closer look. Take Patrick McNeil, a 21-year-old Fordham University student in New York. In 1997, he left the bar and was never seen alive again. His body was found over a month later in the East River. The coroner called it accidental drowning, but his body showed signs of burning, and his arms were crossed tightly against his chest, a position experts say doesn't happen in drowning victims. Or Chris Jenkins, a University of Minnesota student, disappeared on Halloween night in 2002, found months later in the Mississippi River. Police first said it was suicide, then changed it to accidental. Then, after pressure from his family, they ruled it homicide. There was no smiley face at the scene, but there was something even more chilling. His body was still in pristine condition, despite being in the water for months. It didn't add up. Critics were quick to dismiss the smiley face killer theory. FBI officials issued a statement in 2008, saying there was no evidence of a serial killer, no signs of foul play, just tragic accidents. Drowning is one of the leading causes of death for young adult males, especially those who've been drinking. But the families of the victims weren't so sure. Many of them described their sons, brothers, or friends as responsible, not the type to wander off alone and fall into a river. Some had strange injuries. Some had cell phones that vanished. And some had bruising that couldn't be explained. And then there was Dakota James, 23 years old, vanished in Pittsburgh after a night out in 2017. His body was found 40 days later in the Ohio River. Medical examiner, accidental drowning. But Dakota's family hired a private pathologist. And the findings? Ligature marks around his neck. They believed he was strangled. And guess what was found near the riverbank? Yes, a faded smiley face. Could this really be the work of a coordinated killer or group? The idea sounds like something out of a movie, but if you think about it, serial killers have communicated through symbols before. The Zodiac, BTK, why not a smiley face? It's innocuous, everywhere, easy to overlook, but also iconic, unforgettable. If this was a group, they weren't sloppy. They left little trace, knew the terrain, targeted victims who wouldn't be missed right away. Some theorize these deaths are part of the dark web, snuff videos, human hunting. Outlandish? Yes. Impossible? Not entirely. The media eventually lost interest. The story faded, but the deaths didn't stop. Even now, similar cases trickle in. Another student, another river, another closed case. And every time whispers resurface, could it be them? The Smiley Face Killers? Or is it all confirmation bias? Are we connecting dots that aren't really there? Seeing patterns because we need a reason for the randomness? A smiley face is one of the most common graffiti tags in the world. So is it a message or just paint? What keeps this theory alive isn't just the smiley faces. It's the families, the mothers and fathers who insist, my son didn't drown. He was taken. It's the private investigators who see the bruises, see the similarities, and can't walk away. It's the fear that if we ignore the signs, we'll miss the next one. So next time you see a smiley face drawn on a wall near the water, maybe it's nothing. Or maybe it's the only clue left behind. What do you think really happened? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more stories like this one, subscribe to Whispers of Crime, where silence ends and the shadows speak.